Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lion Darts. As you know, I do reviews of darts. I cover most brands from Mission, Target, Windmill, different companies like that. There's one launch I've been really interested to see this year, and that's the Unicorn launch. And Unicorn have sent me a little packet of some darts to review for you. I've looked at the way I've been doing my reviews for the last few years, and I want to change the way I approach them. So basically, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my best Jim White impression I can give you. So let's get into full on Jim White. We've got some breaking news for you. It's from Unicorn, and it's Michael Smith is moving to Shot Darts, and that's not all. It's Chris Dobey. Chris Dobey is moving to Target. The PDC is moving to Windmill, so it's all out transfers from Unicorn, and that is how it's been for the last couple of 3 years. And I've been a huge fan of Unicorn from day dot. My dad's always used John Lowe darts. I've always used the Phil Taylor Phase 1 and 2 darts when they were out, and just to see everybody sort of leaving Unicorn, it's kind of upset me a bit. And that's why I think that this launch, this 2024 launch, is a kind of a crunch launch for Unicorn, which is why I'm so happy to be showcasing some of the new products that they're bringing out. I'm going to go through them one by one, but I'm going to bring them up out of the bag so that you can see what we've been sent. So we've been sent a set of 19-gram amethyst darts from Unicorn. We've been sent a set of 20-gram little stumpy flare darts, which I really like the look of these. A really well engineered set of top brass, and a set of the Gary Anderson Phase 6 Noirs. These darts, these Noirs, I've had them for a couple of, well, since last week. Had a few throws of them and I love them. I absolutely love them. They're brilliant. But we'll go into detail about them individually. And they've also sent me a set of these wedges. Now, all of my soft tip friends will understand what it's like with the noise from a soft tip dart hitting the dartboard. These things have eliminated 90% of that. It's just because they're a soft foam wedge. They are absolutely brilliant. So ground board users, jump out and get yourself a set of Unicorn wedges. They are fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So let's take some individual looks at these darts. Okay, so we've come a little bit closer. Okay, so you've got a bit of a close-up of me. Glorious, isn't it? First one I want to go through with you is Noirs from Unicorn, the new Gary Anderson Phase 6s. There aren't going to be any throws at the board. There's no point in people watching me time-lapse throwing 41s and 26s for a minute. So I'm not going to go into the throws, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk to you about the darts. So what we've got here, you've got your sleeve, the all Noirs and all the high-end player darts and the World Championship contenders generally get their darts presented in. And then you've got the trifold box that it comes in. I love this. I've always loved this detail from Unicorn. I've got a set of World Champion Gary Anderson soft tips that I use. You've got your sleeve in there, tells you a bit about Gary, tells you a bit about the darts, the craftsmanship, the shafts, what's gone into them, what sort of accessories you get with them as well. Slide that back in there. You've got your foam protection that protects the darts on the first layer here, which you take off. And then you've got obviously your nominal weight card that sits there. It usually sits in, if you've got the plastic presentation boxes, they generally sit like that inside the presentation box with the central dart running through the middle of it. But these ones just, they lay them flat. So the darts themselves are exactly the same as the standard Phase 6s. They've just got the black titanium PVD coating on them, which I think enhances the dart. I think it gives it an additional grip. It gives it more of a rugged, more of a smoky, steely look. You've got the velour points in these as well, which I think are really nice, with the slight sort of spiral that runs around the bottom of that tip. And these are coming as standard, I believe, on most of the 2024 ranges. I don't think the brass come with them, but any of the contender darts, the world darts, the generation 180 darts, they all come with void points. I like them. I think they look great. So I want to sort of give you a small close-up of the dart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the dart here. I'm going to talk you through it, and there's going to be a giant dart come up at the bottom here. So I'm going to start from the front, which is here, and I'm going to work my way back to the shaft, which will be about here. Okay. So at the front of the dart, we've got obviously the ball nose, which sits about here, and that's backed up by two sort of silver rings, and that's where this PVD coating is actually taken off of the dart. So the machining that goes into this, there's generally 3 stages of machining. So they would machine the dart in its entirety, they would then coat the dart, and then they would re-machine the dart where they want the actual silver to come through. What I like about this is you've only got the 2 points here at this front section that have actually had that coating taken off. So that coating covers the entirety of the barrel right the way back. Now what you've got here is you've got a set of sort of semi-wide spaced twin ring grips, and then that is backed up by a very, very slight ring at the rear, and that's a single ring in this section here, and then you've got that double ring section through the center. I like the fact that it's a slight taper at the front and then comes back into the ball nose. That little small detail that separates that from a straight dart to a slightly formed dart makes a huge difference to where you can grip the dart, how you hold the dart, and how it feels in your hand. The way I hold the dart is I hold the dart and my thumb sits just at the top part of that taper perfectly. That it's literally the exact shape of dart that I will always go for, because of just how I hold the dart, and it's perfect for me. I absolutely love it. So what I personally think about the Noirs is, I think that the actual the phase 6s are a nice dart. What I do think is that Noir actually enhances what was already a fantastic dart. That titanium coating and the PVD coating on the top of it just enhances the grip that was already there. The balance of the dart is perfect just to the rear of that tapered section. The match weighting is match weighted to within 0.1 of a gram, which, if you're looking for consistency, if you're looking for that fluency throughout your throw, that match weighting really does make a big difference. You can't get that kind of match weighting from an 80% tungsten dart or a brass dart, because it's not machined to the same tolerances. You can't physically do it with a material that isn't as hard as a 90% tungsten dart. So that's why you will pay the extra money to get those high-end darts, is to get that machining, is to get that match weight, and to get that sort of perfection throughout and that consistency. The Noirs, that's the Noirs. I think they're a fantastic dart. I highly recommend them. If you are a Gary Anderson dart thrower and you do like the phase 6, I would 100% definitely recommend to get a set of the Noirs. Next up, we're going to look at something that's a little bit different. I really like them. I think that this is going to appeal to a lot more dart players than you think. And straight off the bat, the flare darts, I think, are a really, really lovely concept from Unicorn this year. They're looking to the sort of the mid to the low end of the market. A good thing about these is that they've actually sort of doubled up your accessories on these, because usually nowadays you get a set of darts, they come with a set flight, set of stems, that's it. With these you're getting an extra set of stems which are shorter than the ones that are actually in the dart, so you've got variation there, and you've got an extra set of flights. I think that's great. I think that's brilliant. I think that's giving you options straight out of the box, where it's not just that one option, that one set of flights, that one set of stems. And if you do get on with it, unfortunately, you're going to have to go out and buy more. This, you've got something that's going to tee you up for a good couple of months if you're a consistent player or you're a regular player, or this could last you 6 months if you're only playing every now and again with friends. Because they're 80% tungsten, the price bracket is really good. It's really sort of, it's friendly, and it's a nice price range for anybody and everybody to be able to access. It's an accessible price, and it's going to help people to get into the game of darts. So let's take one of these out and have a little look. I will obviously bring the large graphic up at the bottom again, just so that you can, as I'm talking, you can visualize it on the larger dart in front of you. So looking at these darts, these are actually coming with a standard point. So these don't come, because these are 80% tungsten, they're in the lower end of the market. They're not going to put such a high-end point in this dart because they want to make it accessible for people, and they want to get everybody playing darts, and darts is for everyone. And that's what I love about Unicorn, is that they don't hammer massive price tags on everything. They keep it so that it's accessible for everybody. So on these ones here, they are really, really tiny little dumpy dart. They remind me of Dum Dums. I don't know if you remember Dum Dums. They were a Unicorn dart. Really, really wide, really, really short, really, really fat darts. Looking at these, I thought these were going to be bigger. I thought they were going to be wider. When I saw the imagery and the sort of the sneak peek that came up on when they were releasing their social medias heading up to this launch, I thought these were going to be wider. The reason I hoped they were wider and hoped they were bigger is because people with arthritis that have trouble with their hands, they need a wider dart to be able to get the grip. Thin darts, they can't grip them because they're physically, their hands don't move that way. And I thought that's brilliant. A really wide dart that's going to make it accessible. It's not going to be a high price. It's going to be accessible for people that are suffering and that are literally finding it painful to throw darts now, and this is the solution for them. But yeah, they're still short, they're still fat, they're still dumpy, but they're not as big as I thought they were going to be. So at the front of the dart, you've got a small ball nose at the front here, and you can see that on the large graphic, and that's backed up by a section of very sort of close, tightly knitted ring grips in a lovely yellow paint, backed up by the Unicorn laser etched into the actual barrel. And then you go back here to a knurled section. Knurling is back, and I love the fact that knurling is back, because it's such an easy but effective way to add grip to a dart, and it's so cost effective nowadays. And all of these laser cuttings and all of these inverted sharp grips and stuff like that all costs money to produce, all adds money to the price of the dart, and it just makes some things just like the Elysian dart from Target. Who's paying 500 quid for a set of darts? The reason they're that much money is because of the engineering and the machine time and the different operations that a CNC machine has to put onto those darts. You don't need it. You just need a little bit of knurling on there, which is a wheel that goes, a knurling wheel that go around the dart and it'll knurl it. It's a simple process and it's cost effective, which is why I'm glad knurling's coming back, because it makes things accessible and makes things cheaper. So this is the flare dart. I'm just going to check to see if there's a specific number. Whether it's an M2, M3, M4. And it's just got flare on here, so it's just a 20 gram flare. I don't know, I can't see any specific model number on there. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments if I'm wrong. Yeah, no, there's nothing on there that states it. But yeah, this is the shorter dumpy flare. Love the dart, love the flights. I think they're cool. They're quite modern. They're really nice. But yeah, the flare I think is an accessible dart that's going to be good for people that are suffering with sort of arthritic complaints, having trouble gripping a long dart. You can just grip their barrel, the flight, and the stem will do the rest. Front grippers will love these. Rear grippers will love these because it's going to sit in your hand exactly where you need your grip, and you're just going to be gripping the whole dart, not a proportion of the dart. But yeah, and like I said, I love the fact that they've given you an extra set of stems that are a different length, so you can try a different setup. Just makes a massive difference to me. Just that they're thinking of the end consumer and they're giving you more options, and they're making longevity out of a product that you're paying quite a bit of money for nowadays. It's like you don't want to go to the shop and pay, I don't know, 20 quid for an apple, get home and it only lasts you a week. Like you know, you want to be able to cut that apple up into 4 pieces and make it last a month or something like that. But yeah, these give you longevity from your product, and I like it. I like what Unicorn are doing. I like the way the direction they're going in. So that is the flare. That's our second instalment. The third one we're going to show you is something that's going to be down on the lower end of the market. I think it's great that a lot of brands are bringing brass darts to the forefront again, purely because of clubs and pubs and places like Flight Club. where you can go to Flight Club and you can throw darts at an augmented reality dartboard. It does the scoring for you, comes up with loads of little games and stuff like that. Really, really cool. What you can do is you can go out, and if you're going out with your mates, you can turn up, you can buy a set of top brass darts that aren't going to cost you the world. You can go out and play this game with your friends, and you can look the part. But you can look the part for not a lot of money, which I think is really good. So let's have a quick look at these, take these out of the box. Yeah, look at that. You've got your foil flights on here. And these are 21 grams. 21 grams in a brass dart. It's quite hard to achieve a decent machining on 21 grams in brass, because 21 grams of brass is a lot more than 21 grams of tungsten. So it's going to be a wider, thicker dart. Again, great for people that are struggling. The older generation that's struggling with arthritis in their hands are going to need something a little bit thicker, a little bit wider, a little bit chunkier to be able to get the grip that they had before with possibly a thinner dart. So it's something that's going to be available and accessible to everybody again. Again, throw up the graphic at the bottom here. As you can see, this is the big dart. You're going to be able to look at this whilst I talk you through it. And the reason I'm doing this all as one video instead of individual is because I feel that this needs to be viewed and this needs to be aired as a launch video in its entirety, as opposed to breaking it down, separating it and doing it in depth for each item. Doing that is going to, in turn, you're going to get 2-3 views. Hopefully people are going to watch this as a launch video, understand the passion that I have for the brand, and understand the reason that I'm really happy that I'm being able to do this. So these brass darts, again, standard point, again it's a brass dart, again it's the accessible range, and it's the accessible end of the market from Unicorn. So obviously you do have the option to change all these things. You can go out and you can buy yourself some new points, and you can get a repointer, and you can take the point out and you can put a more expensive one in. There's nothing stopping you doing that. It's just that if Unicorn were to do that to every set of darts, you'd add a £5 on the price of every single one that goes out the door. There's just no need to do it. Heavy machining on this, some really sort of nice sections here that have been actual cut. You've got the ball nose at the front, as you can see on the large graphic, and that's backed up by a section here, a very fine ring cut with an actual cut that runs right the way down the centre of that ring, and that's in multiple places around the barrel, giving it a really nice sort of, I don't know, it's heavily machined and it spirals as well. So what you would think is a straight ring around the outside, if you look at it in one section it looks a straight ring, look at another section it looks straight, but if you look at a specific point on this dart, and hopefully I've been able to get that on the graphic here, it's actually a spiral. So the ring spirals round, and it's not completely straight, which gives it a really sort of cool effect, and it would look really smart going through the air as well. So if you get, I don't know, on some of these flight clubs they actually record your throws, so seeing that coming through the air is going to look really smart. I like the fact that it's a little bit different. Brass darts are not going to stand up the test of time as much as the tungsten dart would, purely because they're nowhere near as hard. So if you do tightly group, you are going to end up getting dinks and chips on these. But at the price that you're paying for them, buy 2 sets, buy 3 sets, it's not going to be the end of the world, and they're going to last you a long time anyway. Backed up here with a standard stem from Unicorn with the rings at the top. A lot of people do that, and then you've got a beautiful fly at the end here. It says top brass with the sort of it's kind of, I think it's got an American theme to it, sort of a military theme to these. And yeah, but they're really nice brass dart. It's all painted and PVD coated, so the brass is coated. Again, 3 machining processes. The first machining process is to get the rings in place. Once you then coat the rings, and then you would then follow it up with a third process, which would put the actual cuts in and the spiral running around the side to get that brass shine to come through from that black PVD coating. So yeah, really nice dart, brilliantly accessible in the accessible end of the market, and something that you can pick up. The variations in these dart, they've brought out 4 or 5 different styles in the top brass range, so have a look, you might find something that suits you. Torpedo shape, bomb shape, straight dart, they've literally covered all bases with these. So have a look at your top brass darts. I think they're great if you're going out for an evening out with your pals at Flight Club, or you're just a casual dart player, picks them up to go to the meat raffle at the pub on a Sunday and has a couple of throws with his mates. Just get yourself a set of top brass darts. If you're not a serious dart player, these are the ones for you. They're going to look the part and they're going to make you feel good when you go out to the oche. And having a set of darts of your own gives you a little bit more confidence as well, instead of using the darts that everybody else uses at the pub. So yeah, top brass, 100% recommend those. Fantastic little set of darts and really, really well priced as well. So what that means is we're moving on to our final gift, I should say, from Unicorn. These ones really interest me because through playing soft tip darts for 4 years, 3-4 years now, light darts have become something that I've slowly but surely had to get used to. I have to throw a light dart at a soft tip dartboard. I can't throw a heavy dart, you're not allowed to. It's against European regulated rules. You can't throw a dart over 23 grams, you're not allowed to. So you get used to throwing darts that are lighter. 9 times out of 10 they are around about this weight, the Amethyst, around about 19 to 20 grams. A very, very light dart. Now what this means is that they're accessible for people that don't want to throw a heavy dart. So if you're a lady and you want to throw a beautiful set of darts, but you've looked at a beautiful set of darts and they only come in a 24 gram, they're too heavy for you, you won't buy them. These are probably one of the most intricate, prettiest darts I've seen in a long time, that are not going to completely and utterly cripple your bank account. Again, these are 90% tungsten, these ones, 0.1 of a gram match weighted. I'll bring up the big graphic for you now, which is going to come up along here. And at the front you can see that everything on here is got a sandblasted coating. So again, it's going to be a 3 process. This is probably actually 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 processes. So what they would do initially is, I think they would get the turned barrel and then they would sandblast the entire thing, and then they would go through the processes of taking that sandblasting off and putting those grip patterns in there, which, as you can see from the large graphic at the front, you've got 2 purple rings which have got a beautiful coating on there, a beautiful purple coloured coating, sandblasted in between those, leading up to some small ring grip sections. And then you've got obviously your spacer in the centre that's got the Unicorn laser etching across it, that's got the logo there, backed up by more sandblasting area and some more of the small ring cuts. They could be a shark grip. I think they are a shark grip. I can't really get a decent look on that. Yeah, some micro sort of nano shark grip that runs up the rear section there and through that small section just in front of the spacer. Lovely little dart. It's sort of like a torpedo shape, as you can see on the graphic at the bottom, and it sort of runs into a taper from the rear up to that spacer, and then from the front of the spacer down to the pointed nose section here. Standard points again on these. If you are going to be using them regularly, I would recommend upgrading the points. It makes a huge difference. I've found that changing your points in your darts really does stop those bounce outs, stop to fall outs. I would always change the points on my darts. I think it's a very intelligent thing to do, and if you're playing league darts on a regular basis, in my opinion, it's essential. So the Amethyst is light, it is very light, but it is balanced absolutely beautiful just to the rear of that spacer. So if I put the spacer there, just to the rear of that spacer, that dart sits perfectly on my finger. So the balance is absolutely smack bang in the middle of the barrel, which is where you need it to be for when you're throwing your darts. My thumb will sit perfectly on that rear section just behind the spacer with a sandblasted grip, and I'll be able to throw the dart beautifully from there. And the balance again is going to let your dart sit into the board exactly where they need to be, flat, straight. If you've got the darts going in at that sort of angle, you need to grip further to the front of the dart and put a slight little bit of extra length on that stem just to keep that back down. I think they're great. I think they're very accessible for, like I say, lady players, people that don't throw the dart like they throw the dart hard. If you throw the dart hard and you're throwing 26, 27 gram darts, you're not going to do yourself any favours. What you need to do, if you've got a hard throw, you need to make them slightly lighter. You'll see MVG won't go anything over 24 gram dart. He's 23.5, I think he uses. A lot of the pro players are using lighter darts because they've got that power to throw the dart. If you're floating the dart to the board, you need that additional weight to get it there. Yeah, to get that arc the way you need it to be to get it into 20s. A lighter dart is for a more powerful throw. So if you've got a quick throw, get a lighter dart. Slow throw, heavier dart, moves through the air. Amethyst, 90% tungsten, really nice purple shaft. The flights are fantastic. It's got sort of like a clear section that runs through the middle, makes it kind of look like an amethyst is coming out the top of the stem. Really like that. I think it goes very well with the culture of the dart and what they're building within the amethyst range. There are a lot of these that are available to you. A few of them are new for 2024. Some of them, I think some of the amethyst range came out last year. But the new ones from the range I think are absolutely fantastic. Really nicely shaped. They've really thought about the width of the dart as well. And as you can see, what I'm going to do at the end of this is I'm going to put all the technical specifications up in a few slides. It's going to show you exactly the dimensions of the darts that I've been speaking to you about today. So that is in its entirety my launch video, Lion Darts for the Unicorn launch. Like I say, I really love the brand. I always have done. I think if you think of Unicorn as a football team, you had your Man United, 20 years at the top, dominant, couldn't fault them for anything. That was the Unicorn of back in the day. And what they're doing now is they're building and they're rebranding and they're coming back and they're bringing in youth and they're bringing in younger players, contenders, exciting players that are in the future, I think, are going to be world champions. Yes, Michael Smith has gone. Yes, Chris Dobey has gone. Yes, they don't have as many players that are sort of in the forefront of social media, in the media constantly all the time, but they've got Gary Anderson, who's one of the greatest players that's played the game. They've got James Wade, again, his two-tone darts that they brought out in this launch. They're absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I didn't get a set to look at today, but I've looked at them in the catalogue that they gave me, which is a massive catalogue. Let's look at the back. So a huge presentation catalogue that we got from Unicorn. And if you do have the luxury or the joy to be able to look through one of these, just look out for one of the markings at the top here that says new for 2024. And again, I mean, I've just opened it up there. That's on the top brass section. So that's all the machining, the spiral machining, and that's the one that we had at the front, just down here. Again, new for 2024. There's the flare darts. So there's 5 ranges of the flare, and that's the little dumpies up there. The ones we've just reviewed now, all new for 2024, completely brand new range. These ones would have been interesting to look at as well, which is the Colossus, which you knew for 2024. If you saw it on any of their social media stories, you're talking 33 grams and 38 gram darts. It's like throwing a house at the board. And they're brilliant for people that, like I say, that struggle to get the dart to the board. But yeah, and there's the Amethyst range. So yeah, the entire Amethyst range is new for 2024. And that's the one that we've got just at the bottom here. And then you've got 3 other darts within that range. Beautiful darts. You've got Protex there, a few of those are new, a few new noirs in the Protec range. Another up and coming, few talents that they've got in the catalogue, and a few people that are sort of coming through the ranks. Ross Smith, European champion, fantastic. He's got some brand new darts out. You can look at his range on there. Again, they've got the volute points. All of his darts will have the volute points. Your usuals, you've got your Seigo Asada, Japan's #1, brilliant soft tip player, phenomenal soft tip player, even better steel tip player. Ian White, Diamond White, Jeffrey Deswain, and this is the contenders, sort of like the guys that are going to be coming through. You've got your Ted Evans, your Cameron Menzies. Cameron Menzies is a phenomenal player. Callum Rides moving massive walls and barriers, and breaking barriers down and just coming through and taking scalps that he shouldn't be taking. But he's got that confidence now, and what I think gives him that confidence is knowing that he's got a brand behind him that know what they're doing, a brand behind him that have got some serious heritage. Again, that's another range they brought out, the Heritage range. I love the Heritage range. It takes me back and it's phenomenal. There you go, look, the Zippies, they're the dum-dums I was talking about. So they're brand new for 2024. So you've got the Zippies, they've re-brought those out, and they brought the Phase 5 Tailors out as well. So they've reissued those in the Heritage range. Look at the Heritage range, because I tell you what, it is a walk down memory lane, and the nostalgia that you'll see off of those is phenomenal. They've even replicated the Frank Lowies, the original Silver Comets from 1937. So you can order a set of those, which it's just so cool, so cool. But yeah, thank you, Unicorn. Thank you everybody for tuning in as well and watching the review. There will be more reviews coming from me in the near future, and they're going to be of the same sort of ilk. A lot of the stuff I do is launch stuff, so I'd like to just cover that whole area and just do a launch video and talk to you about all the barrels in one video, instead of doing broken down separate segments that you're going to skip through and you're not going to watch. You probably won't watch this, but if you do and you've made it to the end, subscribe, join the channel, join Lion Darts, come and have a chat with us. Drop some comments in the comments, and we'll have a chat, and we'll thrash it out, and we'll see what you like and what you don't like about this launch review. But again, thank you to Unicorn. Congratulations on a phenomenal 2024 launch. We look forward to seeing what the contenders do and how they move up the ranks. And soon they're going to be another world champion from Unicorn and another world champion from Unicorn, and it's just going to carry on like that. They will come back flying and they will come out swinging, and I think this launch has shown that Unicorn are coming back, and they're coming back hard. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Dan, you've been watching Lion Darts. Take care.